ACIM Insights, Lesson 361. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. This lesson is the culmination of our year of practice. It is telling us what all the exercises and words were guiding us to. We are to have the habit of giving every instant to the Holy Spirit to receive His direction. It is this that makes the instant holy. For we have released the purpose we would give it in our allegiance to the ego, and instead open to the direction the Holy Spirit would give. We are assured that by doing this we will have peace. All the exercises leading up to this point have been designed to clear the way and open our minds to be receptive to the Holy Spirit's direction. The exercises of this year are now resources for us to use whenever we forget where our true source of help is. When we get wrapped up in the ego's illusions, we have the tools to find our way back to the clarity our inner teacher offers us. This is a lifelong practice. For many, it may be helpful to go through the workbook lessons again another year, perhaps many years, so that we can truly make the principles and exercises a part of our way of thinking and living. It is their practice that will bring us peace. The workbook does not stand on its own. It is based on the thought system set forth in the text. The application of the lessons in the workbook become more understandable and meaningful as the ideas in the text are made part of our way of thinking. We have so long identified with the lies of the ego and thought them real that we do not recognize their falsity. Part of the defense of the ego is to cloak its lies in appealing images that seem to be beneficent. Yet, beneath them remains the ego's dedication to death. The text helps us learn to recognize the ego's deceptions. At the same time, it helps us to see the radiant and glorious truth of what we are as God's Son. With the foundation of understanding from the text and the practice of giving every moment to the Holy Spirit developed in the workbook lessons, our life becomes a demonstration of changed perception, of miracles bringing peace. As it says in the introduction to the manual, to teach is to demonstrate. We are always teaching by what we demonstrate in our lives. When we align ourselves with the ego, we demonstrate the ego's illusions and teach them to ourselves and the world. When we follow the Holy Spirit's direction, we demonstrate release of illusions, forgiveness, and teach that to the world. This is where the Manual for Teachers is a helpful guide as we go through the process of applying forgiveness more and more in our lives. To be a teacher of God does not mean that we must all form groups to teach A Course in Miracles. Being a teacher of God means that we demonstrate forgiveness in our lives. It means that by having the practice of turning every instant over to the Holy Spirit for Him to be in charge, we become miracle workers. We teach forgiveness by demonstrating forgiveness. This is our part in God's plan for salvation, for the release of the world from the dream of separation. If you feel there is more to gain from the workbook lessons than you have taken in this year, we encourage you to go through the lessons again. You may find that you see things the next time through that you didn't see before. Because the Course is leading us to a complete thought reversal, sometimes our attachment to our old way of thinking does not allow us to see the message that is there in front of us. But trust that there has been much gained in this year. Your willingness has expanded dramatically, and you will find many gifts as you go through the lessons again. I was very pleased to read this day's lesson because I was experiencing a moment of confusion and wondering how I should view something that is going on in my life. I was also wondering what I should do about it, if anything. When I start doing this, sometimes I find myself going in circles, mentally. As I read the lesson, I gave the whole thing to the Holy Spirit with the certainty that an answer would be forthcoming, and it was. The more I do this, the more quickly and clearly the answer comes. So why not do it always and immediately? I think it can only be because I still want to keep some thoughts and some decisions for myself. The motivation for change? It is the discomfort. It feels so freeing and so joyful when I turn my life over to the Holy Spirit, and by contrast, when I follow ego instead, life is painful and often depressing.